Okay, we're just 7 minutes late, but then we'll try to start now for this panel, our first panel of this year's ICCE. Although it's actually on learning languages, language learning things, but we're talking about how smart learning environment could come in to support our 21st century language learning. We try to make it fast, and then because currently we actually have 5 panelists right now. I mean, the next slide I'm going to cover that. So smart technologies, if you want to look at this family of smart technologies, well, we talked about Gen AI in the last keynote, but we actually have a lot of things. Even AI itself is not restricted to Gen AI. I suppose you're in this field long enough, you know this. So we have other types of AI which can support language learning or learning of other subjects. And then, of course, we have learning analytics. We have AR, VR, IoT. Okay, I think I don't need to explain them. You know what they are. Robotics, mobile ubiquitous technologies, and all these are considered smart learning technologies. And most of the time, we might probably only use one type of technology in a specific learning environment. But we can also bring them together, how they combine them, like orchestrate the use of them. To achieve an even more holistic kind of language learning. So this is something that, but after all, we don't want just be too technology driven in designing and implementing language learning environment. So we talk about this 21st century language learning, advocates of contemporary language learning, contextualized, authentic, and communicative. So we want this to happen. And with smart technology, but language learning can be more personalized, contextualized, and interactive. This is a question we want to inquire in this particular panel. But to maximize efficacy, the good use in their robust language theories, so we want that. Yeah, language learning theories, how can they inform our design? Yeah. So we want to strike a balance between technology, innovation, and pedagogical soundness. Something that we need to be always mindful for whatever this education technology we're designing. So I'm Long Xiang from NTU, Singapore. Okay, I still go back to generative AI and L2 learning, but the interest, for those who don't know, this is second language learning or foreign language learning, if you want to call it that way. I want to look at more, unlike the rest of the panelists, I want to focus more on the perspective of prompt designs by school teachers. So we're talking about how we can democratize, because of Gen AI, it seems that we can democratize even the AI design. You don't need to have experts like us to design, to develop AI for their students' use. School teachers can also learn that. Yeah, so actually they lower the bar for them to pick up. So I'm going to underpin my talk on this called second language acquisition theories, SLA theory, with these 3 hypotheses I'm going to cover later. And then our second speaker, we're going to talk about Yoshiko Goda here. Yeah, from Kumamoto University. She's talking about AI chatbots and learning analytics for collaborative learning to foster critical thinking skills. So it's more on collaborative learning side, but she also, her talk will be underpinned by community of inquiry model as well as SLA. SLA continue, although it's the 1980s, started from 1980s, but continue to be a very influential theory for to underpin our L2 or foreign language learning. And the third speaker, Tingjia Xu, from National Taiwan Normal University here. Yeah, she's here. Okay, so covering AI and computational thinking, want to see the kind of diversity. So I push her, not just talking about AI, we have some computational thinking work she can share in language learning. So she's going to be underpinned by this approach called communicative language teaching, CLT. And fourth speaker, Yun Wen, from NTU again. Actually both are from National Institute of Education, but under NTU. She's going to talk about vocabulary learning system with AI-powered but multi-modal feedback. Yeah, so that's another way to see how AI can be used. And she's going to cover that more from a social cultural lens. And finally, Vivian Wenqi from Asia University. She's here. She's covering AR. Okay, now we have another AR, supported experiential learning. And this is what I'll talk about. This experiential learning theory is both a learning approach as well as a theory behind that. Yeah. So we'll start with this talk. I try to make it fast. Integrating Gen AI in second language learning. Okay, we see how application can be rooted in SLA theory. How can we design prompts? We craft prompts which is mindful. We are mindful of SLA theories. Yeah, with that. So it's not just that, okay, because I think that the student should interact with AI in this way, so I design this way, but I want SLA theory to come in. So first of all, you see how can this CG, ChatGPT or other GAI tools facilitate, we call it learning assessment by theory. These are the three hypotheses going to cover. Comprehensible input, comprehensible output, and interaction hypothesis are going to share what they mean if you are new to this SLA. Comprehensible input hypothesis. So being the first person who proposed this hypothesis is Stephen Krashen. So the idea is that language acquisition occurs when learners are exposed languages slightly beyond their current proficiency level, but still comprehensible. So you call I+1. Although there are some researchers actually they're trying to equate this with we call it the ZPD, but actually this is not the same thing. Yeah, so they are mistaken. So there are also people actually challenge this. But anyway, what it means is that it's I+1. So they already know up to this level, you give them slightly more. You give them I+1, but you don't give them I+10. They won't learn. But I+1, they will learn. Yeah, okay. So leading to subconscious language learning. So there are a few examples without AI or without computer support. Without technology support, you can do some of these like storytelling, reading activities, or TPR. Okay, I don't have time to explain this. Maybe there's also corpus-based vocabulary learning, which is something I can cover, which Gen AI can support this. So if we take this example, which is that reading activities can be facilitated by ChatGPT, underpinned by comprehensible input. So you can do this, facilitate a reading comprehension and formative assessment activity for students. This is what teacher prompt ChatGPT. Teacher can craft this prompt. Afterwards, ask them to provide a brief summary, encourage them to seek clarifications, challenging parts, and feel free to interject with questions and assess their understanding. So based on whatever student understand in terms of vocabulary and whatever, they generate kind of some sort of reading materials for students to read, and then slightly more difficult than what they already know. And you train ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can prompt students in this, welcome to our reading comprehension, and so on and so forth. After reading, provide a brief summary in your own words, and we carry on from there. But there's also a more vocabulary, corpus-based vocabulary learning in this way, which you can see here. Let's say if I'm a student now, generate 4 sentences that incorporate the word measure with gradually increase in complexity, and ChatGPT can generate something like this. Simple is you use a ruler to measure the length of the book. Slightly complex and more complex and advanced. The government implemented a comprehensive system to measure and assess the economic impact of new policy and so on and so forth. Yeah. So this is something that you provide that kind of input, comprehensible input, just right. Yeah, comprehensible a little bit more. So provide 3 examples of the word measure used in different contexts. Yeah, measurement of length, assessment of action taken, and degree of extent. So you just drill deeper on how this vocabulary can be used. This word can be used. Yeah, okay. So this is something we call corpus-based vocabulary learning, learning by deduction or induction. You deduce what measure means and how measure can be used. This word can be used. Okay. So you can go on here. Can you find another words that use interchangeably with measure in these sentences? So it could be something like this. She used a ruler to determine the length of the book, and a synonym is ascertain. So they're different. When they're different use, there are different contexts. Then there are different synonyms. Yeah, continue to learn from there. This is kind of slightly more than you understand. You already know, and then you learn more from this. So then challenge the student to compose sentences that are vastly different from the examples generated by ChatGPT to provide feedback, explanation, and correction, something you can do. ChatGPT, we say can function as e-dictionary, but it's much more interactive if you prompt it in the right way. Okay, so comprehensible input. This is just quickly tell you about slightly more than current proficiency, focus on language comprehension, and adaptive, so personalized learning in a sense. Then we move on to comprehensible output. What it means, comprehensible output, I think I missed a slide here. What it means is that, if let's say I'm a second language English speaker, and then my mother tongue is Chinese, then I speak to a English native speaker in English, but I'm not so well versed, not so fluent in this. And then maybe there are some grammar errors, there are some wrong use of vocabulary, and native speaker, maybe they don't understand or misunderstand. So then they ask you, then you need to repairing what you say. Yeah, remember, try to revise until they understand you mean. So that's called comprehensive. Then through this process, actually, you learn to improve your English oral. Yeah, so this is something they call comprehensible output. You make sure that your listener understand. That's comprehensible output. So you can design this ChatGPT activities like, I would like to improve my writing skill, provide a writing prompt or topic. I'll write a short paragraph and submit my writing. Please review for grammar, vocabulary, and style, and suggest any improvement. This is more a writing process. I think a lot of teachers are doing something even more complex than this, but this, you can refer it to this comprehensible output. And then about a translanguaging strategy. I would like to engage in a comprehensible output activity with ChatGPT as a translator. I will start by writing a sentence in English and would like ChatGPT to translate it into my mother tongue. Yeah. After each translation, I'll review the translation and say, okay, you translate faithfully what I said, and I realize that because you misunderstood, you translate something wrong. And then I try to revise and make sure that you understand correctly. Yeah, so instead of talking to a human native speaker, we do it this way. Yeah, something we can do in this. And this is something that we use the text-to-image generator. So we can get teacher to generate, I think I skipped one slide. Yeah, so teacher that generate an AI image and put it to bring it to the class and show the student, but they don't show them what's the original prompt. And the student work in groups what they're supposed to do is that they generate prompts to recreate this image. And then you try to revise it until the image generated as close as the original image as possible. That's also a comprehensible output activity. Yeah, so original one actually come from our Singapore's secondary one textbook on this. Yeah, something like this. This is the original prompt I gave and I generated something like this. And I think, Tingjia, last year you were in ICCE, you shared this idea. Yeah, you just changed one word and then that, I think it's Midjourney, is it? They created something totally different. So I think the idea is quite similar. Yeah, they learned the word differently, and then we'll see this on this. And finally, we look at interaction hypothesis. They believe that importance of interactive communication and language acquisition suggests that negotiation of meaning and interaction between learners and speakers of target language facilitates language development. So not just comprehensible input or output, but more importantly, interaction. You need interaction to happen ultimately. So we have this like CLT, which I think some of you are going to cover later as well, and also role playing. Like example, I think that you're familiar with this. Simulated dialogue. Can you role play a street vendor that sells souvenirs at high prices and let me practice English conversation with you by role playing a customer to bargain with you? I think this is something that you probably know what it means. And also, even like this, act as an interviewer. Yeah, and then I'll be a candidate. You ask me the interview question for a position. I'm applying for a position. Yeah, you can do it this way. Yeah, but do not write all the conversation at once. I want you to do the interview with me because if you write in the first time, maybe you will just give you a script. So I don't want that. So yeah, interactive storytelling, I think you will do this maybe in your kids during your childhood. You play with this. I think ChatGPT can do this with you as well. So this is again an interaction activity. So rise above from there. 4 main points from these ideas. First of all, we want to transform prompt engineering into pedagogical design. Position prompt engineering not just as a technical skill, but as a creative theory-informed process. Yeah, for crafting meaningful personalized learning. So we want to be mindful, aware. I mean, have a consciously applying learning theory to design your prompts. And metacognitive growth. Reflect their learning processes. You push the student to do that. Yeah, you can craft the prompt to get them to do that. And also, leverage generative AI to redefine the real-world practice. We're talking about authentic now. Extend the classroom to real life. Yeah. Designing prompts simulate authentic, contextual, and culturally relevant scenarios. And finally, we want to empower teachers as co-designers of learning paths, transforming them into creators of AI-facilitated, student-centered learning ecosystems. So that's what happened, like in Singapore, maybe elsewhere. We have a lot of more and more workshops. I'm also conducting workshops to more and more teachers, all subjects, for this. Yeah, so now they can create AI tools for their students, not just waiting for us to create and then feed them. Thank you. So we move on to the next speaker, who is this Yoshiko.
both of them? I want to use your
Pupunta ako sa ano. There na. Saan ka na? Hindi ko nakita yung ano. Hindi nakaslide na. Hindi po makita. Kailangan makita yung other side. Hindi ko makita ngayon kasi naka-monitor yung display. Hindi, wala sa akin. Oo.
Okay. Thank you for waiting. I'm Yoshiko Goda with Kumamoto University from Japan. I'm talking about generative AI used to bridge individual learning and collaborative learning for language acquisition. And first, I would like to demo of the software I developed. So this is the one using ChatGPT, and if if a student put I want to talk about SDGs number 4, like here, then if I send it, I hope this is working. So I will try next one. So the software is working, and it said here student can input something like I want to talk about SDGs number 4, and then the ChatGPT answered, sure, I love to discuss SDG 7 with you. I put the 7, maybe, sorry. Oh, yeah, number 4. So can you explain something like this? And then, so this chatbot generated using AI is based on Socratic inquiries. So if students write something, then ask questions. But I'm using a generative like AI chat GPT. Once again, I put number 4 and then ask, it said like, how about what kind of quality of education you want to talk? And then student can continue talking with generative AI. And on the other hand, if I put the same thing to the chat GPT, what happened? So students want to talk about SDGs number 4, then it shows a lot of information organized and more information than the student expect or teacher expect. And so I would like to talk about how we can use generative AI for language learning. And so this is like AI is smart technology, but we could use generative AI for quantity and quality of increasing quantity and quality of learning, language learning. So the purpose of the system I show is like enhance the goal is enhance language learning and critical thinking, not only language learning, maybe at the same time like a critical thinking. If we, so the learning language or other things, the individual learning and collaborative learning, both are important. And I would like to bridge individual learning and collaborative learning, go back and forth, and to increase quality and quantity of learning. And so the approach for the goal is integrated AI chatbot into the individual and the collaborative learning. And I use a community of inquiry model, which was developed for designing collaborative learning. And it consists of 3 presences, and teaching presence, and cognitive presence, and social presence, and which the balancing of 3 presences and increase educational experiences. And so based on using this model framework, I designed the tool and collaborative learning. And then when we talk about learning, we not only, so sometimes we just help student to do some discussion, but the student may not talk much. And the reason of this happen, we could think about the 3 reasons. Maybe like cognitive reasons, so students don't know about the topic much. And even though students know the topics in like cognitively, but if they don't have a tool to express present the ideas, so language problem, language proficiency, and also emotion. So those 3, but if we help students to like prepare for the discussion, both way, cognitively and languagely, and then based on like a successful preparation of the cognitive and the language proficiency, then it increase emotional, affective way, like confident. So student can start to develop their like talk more, and then actively engage the discussion. And then those are the systems. And then I want to talk about this one, the comparison between traditional chatbot and generative chatbot. And for example, response generation, the traditional chatbot is usually predefined responses, but the generative AI chatbot, like a dynamic responses, and then flexibility, and for traditional chatbot, it's limited flexibility, and generative AI, high flexibility, like this. So we can compare. Then we can think about a way to use chatbot for education. And this is like educational role of chatbot in student interaction. So traditionally, we designed chatbot as one of function for maybe like a learning agent or teachable agent or peer agent or motivational agent. ChatGPT could do all kind of agent, but the teachers or designer have to design which kind of agent, the role of agent, which plays when ChatGPT, like students with interacting with the generative AI chatbot. So it's a kind of challenging. And so finally, future directions and conclusion. So future direction, increasing AI accuracy in classification, dialogue, and feedbacks is one of the ways to research, and also expand applications for diverse learners and cultural contexts. And previously, we want to have a sophisticated AI, but in terms of education, maybe we need caring or considerating AI for like a student. We have to determine what kind of role of chatbot should be provided in the adaptive learning. And conclusion, AI-powered chatbot revolutionize language learning and seek what that system brings individual and collaborative learning effectively. Thank you for your kind attention.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Tingjia Xu, and I'm the faculty member at National Taiwan Normal University located in Taipei City, Taiwan. I think in the field of education, National Taiwan Normal University is ranked #1 in Taiwan and holds a strong position globally. And I'm serving the Department of Technology Application and Human Resource Development. Taiwan is a technology island. In the small island, many companies of OEM and ODM, technical manufacturer and semiconductor or IT industry are located in the city. So there are large demand for IT human resources with good language proficiency in near future. And I teach in National Taiwan Normal University from 2013, so I fresh the honor quickly, as soon as possible, because I only have 6 minutes. My recent topic is focused on AI in education or AI literacy, so we have a special issue on educational technology for learning AI literacy. You are welcome to submit your paper here. And I have led different teams to develop computational thinking learning material for different graders in Taiwan from 2017 to present. So I think that is the reason why I am limited to talk about the interdisciplinary of computational thinking and the language learning. In 5 years from 2017, I was the first highly cited author in the Journal of Computers and Education. I would like to start from a recent study we conducted interdisciplinary of computational thinking and the language learning in a game. Based on communicative language teaching, when students play the game, they are guided to use the sentence patterns they need to learn in the elementary school. For example, the opposite team might ask, "Where do you want to go?" Then the active team will respond, I want to go to somewhere, such as I want to go 3 steps forward through the computational thinking board game. Then students naturally learn the conversation during the game. Here is the illustration. The experimental group used an educational robot to read the direction cards and move on the map based on the card arrangement. Then the student could then figure out a better route based on the cards they draw and the situation they faced on the map. If you want to know the details of the treatment, you can read our paper in the ICCE translation on learning technology. I think there are a lot of conditional sentences in language, and it is related to logic. So it is easily to integrate computational thinking with language learning. I cannot present the same example last year, the one I presented last year about generative AI in language learning. So this year, I only present computational thinking example. We have several versions of computational thinking game. One is Robot City. That is an unplugged computational thinking learning board game. The second is the previous study. And the third version is this one. The students use blocks on a tablet or a smartphone to control a robot moving on the map. And this study focused on the third version, include both Chinese and English interface on mobile device. So we conducted Chinese as second language learning in Singapore and English as a foreign language learning in Taiwan. Okay, so this study compares CSLO and EFLO together. So in the third version, shift from unplugged to plugged computational thinking learning, we designed some sentence patterns based on the English curriculum in Taiwanese elementary schools. Here is an example of the city skills involved, like sequential structure, the repeated structure, and just as what I say, we have many conditional sentences, if then else, something like that. And that is related to language learning and computational thinking. Using communicative language teaching, students need to use the assigned vocabulary and the sentence patterns to learn. So here is the Chinese version and the English version. You can see the left side, the right side is the English version. So in Singapore, they use a Chinese version. In Taiwan, we use English interface. And the EFL learners interact with each other in English, whether they are working with whenever they work with the blocks on the smartphone, their team members or other players on the opposite team based on communicative learning teaching method. And the final study, I would like to link to the next panelist with the study because that is use AI image recognition for vocabulary learning in real life context and creating a personalized dictionary of new words. Here is the interface. This app is developed by my graduated student. And this is a smartphone application for third graders in elementary school. Students use their smartphone camera to capture real-life objects, and the system automatically recognizes the object in English. The word is then added to a dictionary within the application and translated to Chinese automatically, like the left side of the slide. Students can see both the Chinese and English vocabulary, and then if they feel that the name of this object is very difficult for them, then they can add the new words to the dictionary. That is a personalized notebook of new words dictionary for people, for individual students. This AI application is applied in self-regulated learning. We hope the students regularly learn new words from their actual environment. Taiwan MOE has announced the guideline for K-12 about using AI in learning. You can refer to the show link above here. Thank you very much.
Anyone can help.
Same laptop.
Yes. This one. Yeah.
Okay, very good morning, everyone. I'm Wen Yun from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. just like Longxiang. So my sharing will focusing on the multimodal feedback enabled by AI in language learning. Yeah. So the importance of feedback in learning is no question. And our existing studies have shown that if the multimodal feedback can help to engage our young learners, particularly the learners, their second language or the foreign language learners, whose language proficiency might be quite limited to understand the text-based feedback. Yeah. But researchers also highlighted that if we would like to use the technology to promote feedback, we should avoid to provide the feedback just as telling, because no matter how accurate the feedback we provide, if students, they won't uptake the feedback, the impact of the learning will be affected. Okay, so that's why in our project, we designed a system for supporting students' vocabulary learning, and the underlying principle guide us to design the feedback part is to provide the feedback for interaction, providing the feedback to promoting the interaction. Okay, I'd like to show you the case. The system we developed named Archie. I have no time to go to the details, but in short, it can help to bridge students' home-based individual learning and their classroom-based collaborative learning. We also embedded the AI functions. But in my sharing, I will only focusing on the first one, the automatic recommendation that we used in the classroom collaborative learning environment. So here you can see the interface of our Archie system. We provided the picture, the scenario picture to the students, and they can indicate any area they're interested in to make a sentence accordingly using the keywords. Then the system will detect the keywords and make the recommendation to the students accordingly. So all these recommended sentences and the relevant artifacts, actually they are the artifacts the students, they made in the home-based learning individually. So in the classroom learning activities, the system will automatically recommend the sentence. We would like to use these functions to promote students. They can have the dialogue based on these exemplars. So as our first keynote speaker mentioned, it's very important for the students. They can make the judgment. We also hope such kind of the design can help to improve our students, their capacity of making judgments. And this is what we did in the classroom environment. You can see that students, they are sitting together to, I hope it can be played. They're sitting together and discussing about the recommended artifacts. So 3 to 4 students, they were sitting together to complete the collaborative learning activities together, but although the system we implemented in the school for the whole semester, although students, their feedback to the use of the learning experiences is quite good, but when we zoom in to students' discourse, we noticed that the students, their discussion still at the superficial level. So that's why in our study, because of the generative AI, we're thinking about how to leverage the generative AI to further improve our system. You may notice that the first generation of the Archie, when it was proposed, actually is before the launch of ChatGPT. So that's why in our second generation of the Archie 2.0, we embedded the functions that the AI can provide, the multimodal feedback, for example, the image feedback, and also the audio feedback, something like that. Let me quickly show you our design. On the left top, this is also the given picture provided by teachers. And students, they are in small groups, can discuss to make the sentences according to the given pictures. If the students, their language proficiency is better, then the sentence they can make will be more complex. Then they try their best to describe the given picture. The similarity of the picture generated with the given picture will be much higher. But if the students, their language proficiency is quite limited, for example, for the given picture, they only can say, oh, this is a black bear. Then the picture will be just generated at the corner. So we are using this way to provide students the instant feedback using the images to trigger them to think more which areas I should pay more attention to describe the given pictures using the target language. Okay, so this is, we would like to using this multimodal way to attract the students' attention, and we also want to design the system to make sure that the feedback we provided to the students, they can understand. So this is the real interface of our second generation of the system. And you can see the feedback we provided to the students. In addition to the pictures, we also provided them the gradings and audio feedback, text-based feedback. But all this text-based feedback, actually we have fine-tuned our algorithm to make sure the feedback can be simple enough to make sure the second language learners still can understand. Okay, and you can see here, the last principle we want students to bear in when we are designing the system is that to make sure the feedback we provided to students can encourage students to act on the feedback. For example, the picture on the left, students described it wrongly. It should be the red tomato, but students said the green apple, and should be the grandma rather than grandpa. Then the picture generated on the right is not correct. If students further refine it, after generated the given picture, then students can further refine the sentences. So you may find, oh, these two pictures, they are quite similar. Then teachers also can provide the feedback based on the inputs like this. Okay. So that's all for my quick sharing. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vivian Wu, also from Taiwan. My affiliation is Asia University, located in Taichung, Taiwan. And this is a topic. From this topic, I believe you can probably guess what the content of my talk will be, right? And also creating an AR-supported interactive learning environment to enhance language acquisition for rural elementary school students. The experimental design is based on experimental learning theory by Cobb. All right, and there are three we call barriers or obstacles that enhance the learning and the motivation of EFL, low proficiency learners in rural area here in Taiwan. Right, as you can see, so the English divide, right, and the digital divide, and the traditional based teaching and pedagogical material are still commonly adopted and employed by most of the EFL instructors here in Taiwan. So all the three factors or elements contribute to the following learning phenomenon. For example, low motivation and the low proficiency levels learners' performance. Okay, so this is motivation in the background of my study. Right, so if this is the consideration, despite of these all three barriers, innovative language EFL instructors and the teachers are strongly encouraged to design a very authentic and communicative interactive learning environments to guide the students on how technology and the theory can be merged and can be provided to guide the students on to facilitate their language learning and motivation. Right. And so in my study, I incorporate AR, augmented reality, and the game-based learning, so-called ARGBL, and experiential learning theory to bring the students into a very active, very engaging, and contextualized learning environments. Right, so there are my 3 research questions, but I don't think I have time to go through the first 2 because these are quantitative study, mainly focused on the finding of the qualitative finding from the students' interviews. Right, so the app, or I say the ARGBL app that I employ for my studies called STEM Up actually was developed by Taiwan's non-profit government-supported institution called Institute of Information Industry. And as you can see, this is the feature, this is the interface of this ARGBL called STEM Up. In Taiwan's means English Shine Up, all right? English Shine Up, Stand Up. And so you can see this is AR based. So if students scan the card, you scan the card, so the animal, this is brown bear, will pop up, will show in the iPad. And the student, the teachers will develop and also generate the learning contents in a dialogue format. If the students, the teacher wants student to learn an animal like brown bear, so can you see it from the conversation Q&A question and the answer? The teacher would say, "What animal is this?" The animal is huge with brown color. Of course, the answer is a bear. So a student will have to say, "This is the bear." So so from the interface you can see. If a student got the answer right, so the points will immediately pop up, and they say, "Yes, you got it." And the smile face will also show on the screen to encourage students. And so you can see this is the question, right? And the answer. So the phonics can be acquired, can be practiced, and the vocabulary can be also acquired. But the vocabulary is not learned, it's not acquired in a traditional memorization way. It's through practice and very engaging through practice with the app. So a student can also record their voice and the immediate feedback. A score will be assigned to students' answer. The student cannot type the answer, they have to say the word correctly, say the answer correctly. And this is also a system here. So the teachers they are the system and content provider. And in my design, there are 2 functions. My focus, because it's for elementary, a very low proficiency learners. So in terms of vocabulary, I think pronunciation, phonics is the most important thing. Through the pronunciation, so they learn how to correctly pronounce the word, so they can acquire the vocabulary in a dialogue way, just like this, right? And there are 3 functions. The first function for this app is learning the vocabulary and the phonics, and then there are also assessment function, AI assessment function, and finally there's the student can compete with their learner, with their classmates through game competition. And teachers are also, they are allowed to design their course. And the student learning log, their learning log will also be recorded. The teacher will able to see their progress and their practice at home. And this is the theory underpinning the instructional design and the system development. As you can see, this is the COPS, experimental learning theory. There are 4 cycles. As a concrete example, active experimentation, reflective observation, and time's up. All right, and the abstract conceptualization. Let me go to the very important finding. Right, and the STEM up significantly improves students' language performance, especially listening, speaking, phonics, and vocabulary acquisition, speaking. And the students could also experience and fun and very engaging learning environment, and this is a very authentic and contextualized learning. And the overall participants' motivation increased, especially for these low EFL learners, very low proficiency learners from rural area, really improve their learning outcome with this ARGBL. Thank you.
We lost 7 minutes just now at the beginning, so I think just between you and your lunch, so we can try to make it short and sweet, but I just wonder whether any comments or questions you want to raise here? We'll see if you want to. Yeah. Or we're just waiting for lunch. Yeah. But anyway, well, thank you so much for attending this session. I think we'll just have a very quick wrap up. We can see here as the point we're trying to raise here is beyond just language learning. It just happened that because all 5 of us have an interest in language learning. But we believe that with the opportunities, sorry, you have a point. Oh, please.
Sorry, Prof. I just want to ask about, because my research is actually quite similar to context with Dr. Vivian. It's about in rural area, mobile learning in rural area in Indonesia, actually, different contexts. But we have a quite big challenge in the connections, internet connection, I mean, and the affordability of the devices. And so I don't think that school can afford to provide students with those advanced one. But the thing is that can you give advice for us, like for Indonesian maybe researchers which focus more on rural area, and is there any like advice to do the research in the technology that works with the challenge in connection? I don't know.
All right, one good thing about Taiwan in rural areas is teachers, students, and schools, they are equipped with a cutting-edge technology, but the bad thing is that they do not have qualified teachers to provide appropriate or proper instruction to guide the students into how to use this technology, right, cutting-edge technology, to learn in a more efficient way. But we do have the technology. But I think in Taiwan, in Indonesia, I believe there are a lot of government-supported grant, right? I believe.
Of course, no. That's all I can say. So it means that in rural area, our situation might be different. With rural area in Taiwan, we still
but
rich.
How about if you purchase 5 and then you can have students work in groups? Probably not everyone in Taiwan, each student, they are provided with one iPad. But if this is not the case with you, how about pair students or group of students? They can work in a group, probably 5, can purchase 5.
Well, actually, we in the previous history of our development of technology policy from the government support, we did. There are some of the like policy, like one student, one laptop, and some of like that. It doesn't work that quite long. Maybe other professor might can help us helped me in doing things. But the thing is, we really actually struggle so much in what to do with rural area where there's quite really little connection. I think the affordable of mobile phone now is getting better,
iPad.
but VR, I don't think it will work.
But in terms of the apps, there are a lot of free
Yes.
available apps.
Yes,
to
but the
use
connection is
and for
still.
the connection.
Is there any way that we can actually develop some of offline, technology based?
Application is still on the mobile phone, is offline.
It's offline. Usually it's offline.
No need the internet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Usually, just like this, a Stem Up app is also offline.
Oh,
Yeah.
that might be works. Yes,
Mhm.
I will definitely try the step up for my research in the next time.
It works very well with especially students in rural area with low proficiency levels. Yeah, can
Yes.
motivate their study, motivate to them to study English and in a very dialogue, meaningful, game-based way. Yeah.
Yes, and one more thing. I think that there are no doubt that students will be interested in anything that we bring to the classes, especially related to technology. But we have again one big challenge is about teacher. So it was that teacher itself.
The qualified
actually.
teachers are important.
Yes, that's why.
So you probably need to provide in-service teacher training, a workshop like this.
That might be okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
We only have, let's do it one last question. Comment.
Okay, thank you. I have a question about the motivational agent of the AI chatbot, and I really want to ask the Prof. Goda. Yeah, you give us really inspiring presentations, and I really enjoy it. And I want to know, because from your table, your sharing is like a chatbot can motivate learners and provide the positive reinforcement and goal setting, right? And if like the student want to do something very difficult, if they don't want to do, and the chatbot can give them some encouraging words like, good job, you continue, do something like this. But AI is AI. So what do you think in the future AI, how to training the AI model is more, can do more people emotional interactions like people, and how to improve the social emotional interaction with the collaboration?
Thank you very much for the question. One thing for the motivation and emotional thing, AI is AI, and that's why some people prefer to talk with AI. Some people doesn't want to let other people know about the problems, and so just because of AI, sometimes people open their mind to the AI. So it's one possibility. So we can use AI as AI. That's why to let the people open mind. And another one, maybe social, emotional, like learning. It's possible that the AI can encourage students or learners, and then in multiple ways. So like we can use multiple AIs and try to make we can make environment to train social emotional learning. So like we can easily put the one AI to do something like act. We purposely put the AI behave in different ways. Then ask a person can have cases that they can try to increase social emotional learning. Yeah, skills. Yeah.
Sorry, one last further question. So if the students know it's AI, it's a machine, so do you think it also have the effectiveness to give them the encouragement and the reinforcement, since the student know it's the machine, not the people?
I know. But sometimes we are not sure if this is AI or not the human, or this is human, really human. Usually, we believe the person on the Zoom should be the kind of real person behind, but we can put the AI and then try, it's easy. We believe those AIs as a human. So, but the ethical issues, we have the ethical issues. But if we believe that those are helpful for learners, maybe it's possible that ask without saying anything, human or AI or anything, then they can just collaborate with, cooperate with those agents. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So try to wrap up this, because while we have all of us education technologies from universities, we always apply for funds, we go for upstream type of development, push the boundary of technology, as you've seen in some of my fellow panelists, they've done a very good job on developing new tools, higher level tools for this purpose. But also, that's also one of the reasons, another reason is one of the reasons that we actually want to bring ICCE to emerging economies, like your case when you raise this question, because maybe they realize that our conference, this year's conference theme is Educational Technologies Empowering Minds from Diverse Contexts. So originally we wanted to talk about if we want to use the name inclusivity in educational technology. I think that's the issue that we're raising. But we thought maybe inclusivity, maybe you mistaken that we're talking about inclusive education. But diverse context, talking about where we're here. So we always need to be mindful that how our technology can also benefit those of maybe under-resourced countries or under-resourced areas, like rural areas we're talking about in Taiwan. So I think this is something that is always our challenge, because we don't want to create further digital divide from here. Yeah, thank you.